So I was gonna like take a break and just check the feet website. See that's pretty. Kindness is magic. But instead, Joe Rogan was like, flat earthers are stupid. Like, basic bitch, bro. Basic bitch behavior. Flat earthers are stupid. You agree, Matt Walsh? Yeah, I agree. And I can't even believe that, guys. Holy shit. Why would people tell me that the earth is flat? It's crazy. I will never believe that. Stop it. To the point where I got so fucking pissed that just like, okay, your head is flat now, Joe Rogan. Maybe people will have actually fun flattening your head every single time you mention flat earth. And just, who knows? Who knows what happens with the meme? I think it's a pretty funny meme. I think we need to prove if his head is round or flat. I'm just like confused. So can I do my feed website? No, I cannot. There's Shizo upload. What is Shizo? And I'm obviously gonna fucking lose my fucking sense of existence anymore. I will turn into a fucking molecule because of the level of anger we gonna have to go through. This is what I'm gonna look like, bro. There's gonna be a little speck of molecule floating around. Everything else is just gonna shatter like glass. All of the reality will shatter because someone fucking said the word Shizo and they have no fucking idea what that means. The zero understanding. Even when they fucking say the correct title of like, most misunderstood, yeah, but most labeled, at least where I'm from, like it's literally labeled everywhere. And I look across the internet, everyone just fucking flapping Shizo to each other. So, mostly me, like, I don't care about other people to defend them, basically, because they're not actually getting bombarded by haters. I would love to actually see someone getting bombarded by haters where I'm just like a defender of the... So if you need my services to beat up the haters without banning them, because it's always, a high self-esteem move to not ban anyone. But sometimes people, like, will tempt maximum fucking power level of toxicity to the point where they actually expect a ban. They're actually gonna go max pain into a ban because they just don't care that much. But that's on them to figure things out. It sounds like a mental illness of its own. I would call it autism. I would call it like just being so fucking bored that you don't care about other people and how they feel. You actually want to manipulate them and toy with the internet as if it's not real. Which is going to lead to schizophrenia, absolutely. Where you just, you don't care about other people so much that you're left alone. First of all, this is a loneliness problem that comes from loneliness. And the reason why I was labeled is basically the definition. It should be the definition. The way I was labeled as Shizo is I was starting to lose my mind, first of all. And they labeled that permanently, so they're wrong, basically. Right? They labeled that permanently. But I was like losing my mind because I had to go back home at this point. And I just felt unsure of like how to live life anymore. I was working in the UK and I was just like, I lost all the money. It burned through rent, Just like I keep losing jobs. Now I just used all the money on rent. Everything evaporated. My dad took a chunk of money as well with a fucking scam that he engulfed himself into. So I'm like fucking zeroed out and I had to run away from UK because you don't want to fucking dig a hole in a foreign place, that's for sure. So just fucking drive back, but it's a very weird thing where your mind just starts doing nonsense because you come back just like you don't know if you're safe. You don't know if your mom is going to be able to fucking lift extra weights because that's necessary. So I just go fucking insane, right? Especially because it was fucking my birthday, and I thought I'm obligated to go insane. I don't have friends. to invite. Nobody actually cares about me, so I'm just obligated to do whatever the fuck I want. It was my birthday. I was kind of going sleepless and just doing a bunch of random shit. The moment I lock my mom out of the building is the moment she calls police, and the police fucking wraps around neighbors' apartment, gets to the balcony, jumps over to my balcony. You know, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna fight it. I have a fucking hammer in my hands. I have a fucking plush toy in my hand. I just do some weird shit, talk about weird shit like Matrix. It's like, wow, you're time cops, guys. You're time cops. Because I was watching the In Time makes an impression. The Matrix makes an impression. I don't trust people, basically. And it's almost like, that's not my illness. Like, they could just leave me the fuck alone. I'm not threatening anyone. But I was mad on my mom, and my mom does own the property. So technically I have to answer to something, right? But the biggest mistake obviously happens when I get to the doctor, when they drag me into the doctor and I disrespect the doctor by just continuing my nonsense, basically. Right? And then they can label me whatever the fuck they want. They can use force whenever they feel like it. If they feel disrespected in any way. They have never actually talked to a human being for fucking millions of years. These dinosaur fucking doctors, basically. Doctosaurs, I mean, at this point. So anything weird that you do, it's just, you're definitely going to dig a hole for yourself. And the easiest thing to do is just label you as a fucking weirdo who talks to himself and makes up his own fucking stupid shit. And in Europe, funny enough, you're gonna be lonely. You're gonna be actually left alone and isolated, especially if you're a good person. You're gonna actually be isolated. So it turns into an insanely twisted situation where just like almost everyone is being labeled as schizo. Everyone is suspected of just being fucking insane. Including right now, like this year, it was the noisiest year, and it's just like it smells like there's schizo bullshit going on somewhere, you know. So someone is just making a snowman basically out of all the fucking stupidity that has been accumulated this year. Just the way they respond to just the noise that they make. Like, you have to stop. You're hurting other people's quiet space. You entering other people's space just by being noisy. Like, you gotta fucking stop. You gotta learn how to fucking stop. And stop is just that one thing you have to learn in Europe. You don't have to learn too many things. You can even go insane, because going insane is completely fine, right? Having this mental illness doesn't even mean that you have mental illness, by the way, because of the simple principle of admission to mental illness. If you don't admit to mental illness, you don't have it. Just like the dude on Joe Rogan show said, if you cannot admit it, you're racist, you're not racist, you know? So there's a lot of pressure that can be put on you, and that's illness. Putting too much pressure is illness, and I have witnessed that fucking firsthand. The moment I jumped for 2 hours on my neighbors making noise myself, I want to see what happens in the aggregate. In actuality, I was just taking revenge. All right? But it turned into like, oh, let's see what happens now. Because they were fucking vicious, bro. I was making noise now. Oh, it doesn't have a purpose, huh? Now you're fucking mad. It just took 2 hours, though. I was expecting neighbors to come from below, just like they did once. But they fucking leveled up their offenses. It's crazy. They were not defending themselves. They just calling police instantly. So they're putting pressure immediately, and the police puts pressure. The fucking doctors put pressure. Everyone's just like asking you to do things here and there, this and that. It's just fucking mental. And obviously, what police is hoping is that you will resist. What doctors are hoping that you will accept. And is this sort of dynamic happens that's just so fucking disturbing. Right? Oh, just resist in any way. Okay, you have to go into this confined space now police, and they don't understand what they're doing at this point. They're so fucking disrespectful. Just putting someone in a confined space, like it's actually incredibly dangerous, you know, for their mental well-being. And they probably have to answer, if I pull people to court, even they have to answer to just what the fuck they are doing, basically. You know, they know that I'm labeled as mentally ill. Like, why would you actually put more pressure? So much more pressure. But they released it. All right, I was able to defend myself, and they released it immediately. And I, great, we're fine. Nothing's going on. With the idea that, oh, just tell your doctor, fuck off, man. So no need to fucking extend drama. It's ridiculous, basically. And my doctor is technically a good person. I'm surviving my doctor. That means, well, it's a good person. It's not fucking pursuing me. It's more like encouraging me to lie, which is such a good person, fucking just giving in his own powers. All of this could be confusing, but this is the preparation of what we're gonna fucking face. This is the level of insanity. So people can put pressure on the outside for you to accept that you have an illness, right? Which means the illness is over here. It's just people are just trying to, you're too smart. That means if we put this label on you, most of the things we can like dismiss. Most of the things that you say and you do are like completely useless, and we can just take that away from you. You don't actually need it. This is what it means to label someone as Shizo. Like say, don't shut the fuck up, Shut the fuck. We can shut you up basically whenever we feel like it, because there's no importance in whatever you say. You're just fucking a mentally ill person whenever we feel like it, If they put that label on you, you basically have no right to speak when you want. When you want to defeat someone in an argument, you don't have the right to speak. That's what Shizo actually is. It's just a fucking tape over your mouth. It's censorship. It's the European censorship, basically. That's what it is. Welcome, my friends. So you either accept by your own admission to put a tape on your fucking face that you're Shizo, which is fucking you be stupid, or other people are attempting to put that thing on your face. And by the way, this is a face mask. This is exactly the same thing. It's a simulation of censorship. That's what it was. So what do you think COVID was? Like, crazy, right? Crazy. Everyone's going crazy. Everyone's fearful. Just shut the fuck up, right? It was a shut the fuck up moment because you have to respect other people. You got to put on the mask to respect other people. But right now, when we're talking about like mental illness, you put a mask on to negate all the smart people changing your life. Like you really don't want that to happen. It's just, there's a lot of fucking assholes who would do that, who would actually challenge your ability to speak, and this is the basic way to do that. So let's tune in. Let's see what the fucking baby has to say, who have not actually suffered who didn't have the scientific experience of being labeled as such and understanding this. Because from the outside point of view, I'm sorry, bro, like you will never understand this fucking bullshit. I'm a completely healthy human being. There's nothing wrong with me. Trust me. All right? I'm not going in saying I don't need medication. Medication is not helpful. It's actually the opposite, because the earth is flat. It's not it's the opposite of what you think. It's always the opposite because of the stupid fucking science system to just give you the opposite and be like, oh, I have given you a solution. That's the opposite of the solution. How the fuck does it work? How is it the opposite, man? What was the thing that triggered me the most, like, when the opposite... Yeah, so the daylight saving thing, right? So the daylight saving... Oh, we're so scared. We have to make sure that 7 a.m. has daylight all the time, so that's what daylight saving is trying to do. At 7 a.m., I'm fucking sleeping, bro. What do you mean? I'm sleeping. I'm not productive at 7 a.m. What do you want from me, bro? I want daylight where it's actually relevant. We should vote, technically, to bring back daylight savings to where it belongs, but that's that's a good example of just like you actually get the opposite of what you need, right? When you're accelerating your productivity, then you want to like light up the day, see things for what they really are. You know, it's great. Make the world a safer place. Might as well just flip it entirely. Fucking night is safe because it's lit, but that's the definition of night, is darkness. It's crazy, man. So, yeah, that's sparked me to be interested. I'm like, science actually does the opposite. It gives you medication and makes you more sick. It takes away your ability to be alive and says, oh, this person who's sleeping in the bed because he's exhausted from all the medication, that's a healthy human being right there because he's not hurting anyone or some bullshit like that. This is what science is. It literally gives you the opposite of what you need, right? In the first place, like giving medication is not food. Medication is just not something your body is supposed to take, but they just give it to you as if it's a normal thing. The only other thing that enters your mouth is food. So how can medication play a role of food just that easily? It can't. It's poison. That's what it is. The only potent thing you can also put into your mouth is pile of shit. That shit is potent, bro. You can just take a snippet of shit and you're gonna fucking vomit, bro. That's the only thing you can actually put into your body and get an effect of some sort. So that's what medication is, just a pile of shit. It's literally the opposite of what you expect, but that's what science does. It gives you the worst things so you wake up basically to how terrible, you know, the world can actually be because you asked for help and you got the opposite of help. That's what it is. Like, you think science will help you and oh shit, oh oops. That's what science does. It just gives you an L, you know. Oh, you asked for help. I just made a small error, you know. Oh, man, it's marginal. It's like one letter long error. Like, relax, bro. That's what science is. It's just always. So it is hurtful for me to actually see all these stupid channels who think they understand anything at all and just fucking yapping, bro, about some word. Oh, I found word. Let's yap about a word. Let's fucking go, bro. Clicky.
A chronic disorder that affects the way you experience.
Nope.
We all see.
By the way, YouTube has a chronic disorder. Fucking, you hover over a video and it skips 12 seconds. Thank you, YouTube. Such a useful feature, bro.
And feel things when we're dreaming. I'm just someone who cannot turn off my nightmares, even when I'm awake. That if
Now, when I was going insane, and it's not worth talking about it, technically. But you are not a doctor, funny enough. So you should not judge me as a doctor, right? When you come to a doctor and, yeah, you remind them of things and it's like, you actually, the best thing is to like withhold information, to not accept to do things with a doctor, to try and decline doctor as much as possible. It's like, I don't want to see a doctor. No, I don't want to talk about this. And you just dismiss the doctor. This is the most powerful move you can make against a doctor, and the doctor will probably just respect that very much. You know, that you don't need a doctor. You know, that's the whole point. That's what you're doing. It's just like, I don't want to talk about it. This is fine. Let's talk about something interesting. Don't look at my leg, okay? Leg movement, like, what is that's not important. And just fucking dismissing everything because you're not interested in that person. If you're interested in a doctor, there's something wrong with you, basically. The self-admission constantly pours in based on your actions, and that's what is being capitalized on, all right? Because being prescribed medication is not free for some people, all right? It's just, you dismiss. Now, I would love to train my mom for it because she's fucking heads deep into this whole thing. But if she comes out, like, she has no fucking life, basically, besides just getting this fucking government support. It's the world's fucking crazy, man, right now, and should be cleaned up. And right now, Europe is under attack by just, you know, the apocalypse. So I'm intending to see a lot of changes happen in actuality. What the... Okay, it just felt like it was misspelled, but it seems fine.
That's the way you experience.
But by the way, this word is fucking stupid by itself. It's just too long. Everyone wants to just say Shizo at this point. And even that is too long because it's just school. Such a school moment right there going on. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm pissed. We have in Lithuanian, that's what I was showing, like that. This replaces the whole fucking whatever this is. What is that? Is that German? The thing. The shit.
Schizophrenia is a psychiatric disorder where you experience psychosis, a cognitive symptom in which you experience reality differently than the people around you.
Oh, yeah. Again, it's self-admission. There's no possible way to actually experience reality differently. But you can mix imagination with reality. However, when I was going insane, I was able to actually conjure, this Shizo definition of actually experiencing sounds, and then they turn into just like mimicking my thoughts, as if my thoughts are being projected out loud for everyone to hear, right? As if everyone is reading my thoughts, and actually, that could still be reality. That could still be something that actually is available in reality to read your thoughts because you're fearful or something is wrong with you, basically. Losing your mind is something crazy. Like, you must understand, there's another thing that I was exploring in February, right, when I was starving myself. I was exploring the loss of consciousness. The loss of consciousness is the idea that as you're losing consciousness, there's a chance that you will die. If you're losing your mind, it's the same as losing consciousness. There's a chance, increasing chance that you will die, and all the potential connections that you have in life are going to be sacrificed. So that person will be alerted of like what's going on, what's wrong. So they potentially are tapping into your mind and trying to understand like why you're losing your mind, what are you fearful of, right? But not everyone, in fact, actually even wants to be a good person. So it just turns into a very chaotic pile of feelings because they're also sending you notifications of like, okay, what's going on? Am I supposed to change? Everything is just, there's an actual interconnected chaos going on because you're connected to other human beings spiritually. That would explain what actually happened. I'm losing my mind, I'm losing my consciousness, everyone is alerted, and then I get alerted, and the most important information piece of my alert is that people are tapping into my thoughts. They actually can hear my thoughts louder and louder, and they're getting confused of like, what, do we sacrifice this person? But his thoughts are so interesting, right? And there's just such a chaos happening, basically. I was just like, okay, let him come to this random crowd. I felt like an urge to find a crowd that's listening to my thoughts, like literally fucking crazy. And I was hearing like I'm getting closer to that crowd. And when I was like saying no to myself, oh, I'm not gonna go there. It felt like the crowd dispersed. It's just the fucking craziest feelings you would ever get. And this was just a one-time thing. It's not something that I would even want to replicate. It's not something a normal person would want to replicate unless they're just, do you want to go insane? Because that's what it is. It feels like a superpower with just a notification that everything is wrong right now. And you have to fix your fucking life. Because a lot of people secretly care about you. And your future, is unclear. Your future is unclear. You have a lot of potential. And people who are close to you may not actually have your best interest to respond to you in the best way, but they will try, They'll see what can be done to bring you back to life if necessary. I don't know. And then after the disperse, I felt like, obviously people are going to be seeking me out of like, where's that person that we heard the thoughts of? Just like it felt too real. It's too real. Like it's something that would actually bring you back to life. That sort of feeling This is like the near-death experience on steroids, because actually people actively are trying to bring you back to life. It's not even funny anymore. It's next level, for sure. The feeling that everyone around you is trying to bring you back to life. And I cannot call that fucking shizo at all, by the way. But it can, like, you know, impact your way of thinking. The shizo was just an ability for doctors to label me one time because I allowed them to. My defenses were off because I didn't know what the fuck I'm dealing with. But understanding the nature of doctors, the understanding that my knowing has to be bigger than theirs, then I can do that. I can do that. I'm slowly. Obviously, you're not supposed to interact with doctors, but you still have to defeat them. So it's a very interesting relationship of figuring out how to actually defeat mental illness. Because when again I talk about this word, I'm talking about not myself. I will never put a tape on my fucking mouth. All right, that's not necessary. It's not hurting anyone. But I'll also try and not let other people do that either. All right, I will try. I will resist the pressure. I mean, the tape is not going to be on my mouth, unfortunately. All right, you know that. You know that. I just have to remind them. It's not going to happen. It's not going to help you in any way that you put tape on a smart person's mouth. I have to remind all these things to them until they back off, very likely. Because they will try and do that while at the same time looking for some advantages that they can actually get when I refuse their services, their help, or whatever, right? They're still going to look for something that they can get out of this. And I have to resist that too, so everything fucking calms down at this point. Likely, when that is defeated, maybe that's called the purge. Ability to defeat all the pressures around you. Then the vortex is open. Maybe that's the next phase. Something that will suck me into a position where people can like judge me and criticize me, and I have to run away from the vortex the moment I see I'm like kind of in the middle of that vortex. It's not good for me, right? I have to be able to leave. That would probably happen, right? People would try and set up a vortex. It's a very interesting thing. It's just over here and over there, and I'm invited over here and over here, and every single time it turns into some kind of fucking disaster. So that would be a phase number 3. The phase number 4, one is to make sure that maybe you admit to yourself that you are mentally ill. And actually, doctors try and do that constantly, like trying to actually provoke you. Because if you don't admit, hey, you actually get jail time extended by not admitting, which is basically you have to lie to the doctor. It's kind of fucking mental how far they went, because I don't think that's legal anymore. That just sounds illegal. Like, I don't have to admit whether I'm ill or not. I just have to admit that I will, submit to the way that you heal me or whatever, just so you feel respected enough to let me go. But admitting that I'm ill, that's too much. That's too easy. That sounds like a fucking shortcut has been opened for no good reason, just to abuse other people with the shortcut, because it makes your job easier. But the shortcuts don't make jobs legit no more. If you use a shortcut, I'm sorry, bro. If when you're asked to build a house, you build it out of fucking straw, you just use a fucking shortcut. I'm sorry, bro. Like, build a proper house, okay? Not a temporary shed of some sorts. So when jobs start using a shortcut, when you just forcefully ask to admit that you're ill, that is now illegal, I think, and people should be questioned for that too. The other thing, the second phase, is putting pressure, right? Which could also turn into just illegal activity, basically. The way pressure is being put, if it's unreasonable, right? The amount of it, when things could be just resolved fairly reasonably and fast. And now there's the third phase of like, okay, pressure did not work. You seem to be safe and still smart, ass. So how about we suck you in and test your smartest somewhere, and then we judge every single thing that you do because we have the point system for ourselves, right? Just like you go to school, you are submitting yourself to a teacher who's gonna assign points to you based on just whatever they feel like it, however mistakes you make. Is their point system. Now, obviously, a more reasonable teacher is going to follow more rules and not assign just random points to people, but it's still a weird relationship where you still have to care about the point system in general. A point system that doesn't give a fuck about you, or doesn't actually tell how smart you are. In actuality, doesn't even care about your intelligence. Just cares about you're not making too many mistakes, which is a very weird thing. That's a number 3. That's a very legit number 3. Don't make mistakes type of thing. Because people will take every single little fucking mistake you will make and will try their best to judge the shit out of you. And hopefully you care about that part and don't just walk away because you don't actually like us. No, fucking walk away at this point. It's literally rejection after rejection. This is the way to actually beat all these fucking losers, basically. Just keep on rejecting them. At the right time, you just pull the string and slap them. Anyways. You were saying something important? Yeah, I don't think so.
Can be terrifying.
Yeah, I don't think
for
so,
some
bro.
people.
It's very terrifying. You're going to see some stupid shit now.
Psychosis cannot be changed. People
Yes,
with
delusions.
schizophrenia also the
No, I don't disbelieve in any of this. This is so far
DSM-5
clean,
extends
right?
the panic behavior. These are considered one size fits all. These can
There was a little bit of another psychosis that actually was kind of tacked into me losing my mind, but I'm just... Maybe I fell back. I was normalized by it, because first I am feeling like I'm very pulled into pieces, right? I'm gonna get fucking human sacrificed and not actually return back to life. But I think right after I felt the God mode, the elevation of self-esteem. Maybe my self-esteem was just coming back to normal. And I'm like, oh, everyone's gonna subscribe to me. I'm just like, yeah, let's shout it. PewDiePie is dead. I'm like, my competitor ain't shit. If PewDiePie is my competitor, he's dead, bro. Fuck yeah. Even feeling his presence, basically, to that point. So there was another little thing, just instant elevation to maximum ego, just losing my mind in a different direction, which was kind of fucking interesting. But then it got kind of scary because, like, shit. No, it got very, very scary because I actually still lost my mind in that sense and kind of trapped myself in a basement. In a way, so started feeling presence because after feeling presence of PewDiePie, I'm like, wait, there's more presence. There's presence that's like fucking big. So it started actually pulling me, just like that vortex thing, into that feeling of someone's presence, basically. So very interesting, and that's also explainable by just the psychological phenomenon of respect, right? If PewDiePie actually was present, I have to respect his presence because he's like an important image on my life, important character in my life. Like I have to actually interact with him as best as I can and get out of my way to be able to do that. Just to force the interaction above everyone else. While everyone else is going to be frozen, I'm going to be moving forward to get what I want. So that's another thing very interesting, the instant elevation that just kind of turned into weird. Now, I already forgot the which one came first, you know, the chicken or the egg. All right, but very interesting. The most notable thing, the God mode thing, is like picking up a phone, putting on TikTok, and being like, oh, there's a girl on TikTok. How about I swipe her into reality and do whatever I want afterwards. Obviously respect that she's a human being, teleported. Oh, but I can't just snap my fingers and make her appear. What's going on? But I'm God, bro. That sort of feeling of like, well, I can do anything, right? Why can't I? There was a whole phase, and it was like when it was very close to leaving the UK, and potentially that's also its own little game, because like I'm leaving a certain place, another psychological phenomenon opens up of like, well, we have to just celebrate that somehow in the most extreme fucking manner imaginable. Because not only that happens, there's a fucking glitch happening of my mom calling, and my mom calling actually kind of changed everything. Like, it actually planted the idea that I do have to come back home significantly. That this could just be a good solution. Just go back, because I was just starving at that point. I'm just like kind of losing hope, losing my mind, and losing hope, and it's just weird. Anyways, especially when you're like looking for a job and some basic shit job. It was a weird situation back then that spiraled into getting labeled as Shizo, and now I'm like, whatever. I am now whatever, and just fuck it. Doesn't matter. It's actually a very beneficial thing to bump into other people. To get that experience across, sometimes good people are gonna go insane simply because they're left alone for way too long, and they don't have enough guidance, and sometimes they're gonna fall back into this medical system that will capture them. But it wasn't that bad, because I survived and lived to tell a tale. However, don't do it again. You might fall deeper into darkness. You might have to fight way bigger demons afterwards if you make another mistake, right? And so on. Where was I? I took a break. I needed a sip. But I just felt like there was a clue being thrown out. Like, we're trying to help you, no. And then the main doctor's like, no, we're not trying to help. It's just, but she couldn't fucking say it. What she's trying to do then. What she's offering in that sense. Fucking crazy. And it's like, the idea was like, they're offering alternative self-punishment, basically. And it's just like, what the fuck? I'm not gonna punish myself. Get the fuck out of here. The court will find you guilty. Oh, what? It's just fucking crazy, man. It's crazy. Because, well, I'm alive. No one wants to live in fear. It's crazy. That shit's too. People putting pressure is not cheap. Because that could turn into a fear of like, is this real or not? Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know laws to the point, because when it comes to mental illness and then laws, now you have two layers that you can't fucking comprehend anymore. When it's like you cross the street in a wrong fucking position, okay, fine. I just pay some money and that's it. This is not. This is insanity. When it comes to laws filtered through mental illness, I'm sorry, that is the craziest shit you can do. Like, you don't even know what the fuck laws are anymore. And that also sounds pretty illegal, to not know the laws and how that shit works exactly, and not being actually briefed on that. Sounds pretty bad. Because then it just creates this sort of corruption available for people to manipulate you and take advantage of you. And only the best of the best will survive this sort of situationship, man. It's
Lack
crazy.
of pleasure, little in social. Typical onset.
No, the loneliness is gonna make you shizzed out of your mind. When people call you Shizo, though, that means you're not lonely. You're attracting people in some kind of manner. So at least something is going on in your life where you are attracting other people's interest, even if it's just across the internet. Whatever. You can still dream about your future. You can still build for your future. You're going to go insane if you don't feel like there's a future, when you're bored out of your life, when you just diluted your life with medication, and you're running out of energy to do things. You basically, your future becomes blurrier and blurrier. That's the only thing that will fucking make you lose your mind. Look at the future and it's like, what, is it going to be the same thing over and over again? I'll just serve the government for years and years. You're going to go insane that way, right? You have to be able to actually build a future. That means you have to build relationships successfully. And internet is a wonderful way to actually avoid mental illness. Not only you, first of all, learn about this stuff, but the best thing to do is not just to be aware, but to be aware of the solutions. And I don't think this is going to be as helpful as my video, but let's try and finish this.
Isn't for at least a month. Schizophrenia is different for everyone.
This is where things get really fucking stupid, right? Like, why is it different? What does that mean? It's not supposed to be different. An illness is not supposed to be different because then it's incredibly difficult to define it. But basically, schizo is an umbrella term for something else. It's not what's happening to you internally because it's different for everyone, right? So all of a sudden, you can see this like very sus moment.
Both early in life and later. Symptoms must occur for at least a month. Schizophrenia.
It is very sus that it's different for everyone. Incredibly sus. Then you can just label it whatever you want. Because it's different, you know? So it's just like, it still has to be based on something at that point. And it's very difficult. So where's the pinning point of the definition? If it's different, that's when definitions get really fucking dark very fast. If something is very hard to define, you can label anything as schizo. Any behavior that you don't like as schizo. This is where things get really fucking interesting.
It's different for everyone. May have odd beliefs and thinking that is bizarre to those around.
Yeah, this is where it gets manipulation 101 basically. Oh, you're different than everyone else. And you're odd. We don't like you. This is fucking insanity 101. Ugh. No, I really hate that. Like, you can even look at some PewDiePie's videos and be like, oh, this guy is going through psychosis. If you took it seriously, if you took it just like he's making a YouTube video, he's making fun of you, so then it's sort of like normalizable. But through any lens, like, schizo fucking is crazy thing to actually try and unpack it, because it's more of a manipulation from the outside to try and shut you up, to try and make you insignificant, to try and make, space appear and make you insignificant in the world, because the world is a little marble in the vast space of reality that we'll be able to travel to. So at some point, I don't know, I'll just build a rocket, bro. I'm gonna go travel to Mars right now. Just need a rocket, man. I'm smart. I am Elon Musk. Some of the rockets explode for mysterious reasons, but man, I'm smart enough to go to Mars, actually. Very soon. Yeah, I can promise you that, too. I can start promising you things. It just gets fucking delusional. Like, I can barely comprehend how Elon Musk is not being called out for, like, the biggest fucking loser of all time. However, we also, want changes to happen, and we're going to give him one last chance to work with Trump and make some changes. But Elon Musk is actually already known as the world's biggest openly a loser, an actual fucking loser, basically, who can't do anything for mysterious reasons. And we're sort of getting unpacked of, like, what's going on. Like, he just bought Tesla, and he's just sort of working with already the pre-existing code. As if you buy a code from someone, and you use it to make some kind of amalgamation of whatever. And the Tesla was his baby, and it's just like that. Everyone got upset that that Cybertruck was just like. I was meaning Cybertruck was his baby. So everyone who bought Cybertruck just realized it's just made out of fucking plates of steel that just come off. It's just disgusting, experimental fucking polygon bullshit that everyone laughed at. Elon Musk got embarrassed 20 times over already. But we still don't consider him as the biggest loser of all time. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We just gave him another chance. Now, when it comes to this, let's continue. All right, I just wanted to dismiss the credibility of Elon Musk. No, he's a fucking loser, but he can still get that extra juice out of working with other people. That's the only thing. I put it in a YouTube rewind, that idea that Elon Musk might actually be a piece of shit, but he still has that chance to be a worker alongside other workers. Then it's a lot easier to work things out.
That is bizarre to those around you.
And Elon Musk getting a piece of code, which is called Where Government Spends Money, might actually just give him insight of like what matters and what doesn't matter as well, by him messing around just like with Twitter. Or like, oh, what if I use that blue checkmark thing differently? Oh, that kind of makes things weird. He'll experiment on the country, and we'll have to suck it up. Now, that's more important than my mental illness, okay? Like, let's not discuss that in the comments. But the fact that, you can actually feel people conspiring against you, imagine, just because you're different, just because you're smart. That's when things get so infuriating beyond belief, bro. Holy shit. And obviously people would not do that the moment they realize they anger the shit out of you, and you will fight back in whatever ways you can fight back. I'm trying to fight back in like the most fucking brutal ways, but I'll start slowing down and getting correct. I saw on TikTok, it's like what it means to correctly defeat people, and it's just like fucking they can't do shit. They can't attack you whatsoever. If you have correct self-defense, like they don't just eat dirt at that point.
These tend to occur in episodes. While a person with schizophrenia may recover from a psychotic episode, they may still have odd behaviors and beliefs, though less severe. Hallucination.
No, that doesn't matter. Doctors will still label you as schizo forever. Forever. And that's sort of still beneficial, so it's like, well, I can't resist that, but we'll see. This a little fucking bond that we might have to fucking go boom and make disappear. Because the world is backwards, all right? We have consumed too much science, and that shit has to reset as well as with everything else that's going on, which just, the world has to reset through the apocalypse, through bad things happening, because, nothing is stable, and a lot of bad people are just going to topple what is unstable.
Voices are.
They see a sandcastle, and they just put a foot in there, in that sandcastle, because it's unstable. They know they can destroy it very easily.
Seeing things, though these things and can say, do hurtful things to you. Fortunately, with proper medication, these hallucinations can be reduced in severity, even eliminated.
Hallucinations. First of all, hallucinations don't happen to the outside world. So why don't outside world put pressure on the person who's hallucinating, correctly? The correct force goes a long way. So no medication. Medication is just admission that you just don't care. Science just is quick to admit, nobody cares about you, here's medication. It's not going to work. It's not, there's no magic. This is the magic thing of like, oh, it's definitely going to make all these aliens disappear. Good luck, my friends. Holy shit. If you're going to trust medication to do things for you, you have no idea how reality works, actually. Because not only are you getting the backwards solution, it will make things worse. If you start trusting the backward solution in the first place, and your placebo will just kind of deactivate hallucinations because you're being abused, the backward solution is abuse. It's like, stop hallucinating. We will abuse you with medication. That's what it is. That's the backward solution. To actually punch you in the face, and maybe all hallucinations will, fall out of you. That is the fully evolved science. The science of Ooga Oonga Boonga is called punch someone in the face. The science of nowadays is to give you poison into your system, because it's a lot easier. You don't even have to dirty your hands. You don't have to talk to that person or which part of your body hurts. You just give them poison. All right? Wonderful news. This is how you defeat a lot of people and punch the whatever nonsense they have in their head. So hallucination can be punched out. Delusions. Let's hear it. Let's hear it, boys. Because it's very interesting. It's like the zit in the end of like medication can help you. In the end, the zit, the use better help with licensed therapists. Just the fucking zit. The ending is where they get you, because they have themselves gotten. They have themselves fucking betraying human nature in that sense. And when they will hear me, when enough people hear me, they will still attempt to look into each other and be like, hey, we can just use our own, just looking into pockets, we can just label this guy and we kick him out of society. We don't need that, right? But good luck with that. Fucking good luck. It's not a challenge. I am scared. But why bother being evil, right? Well, fucking why bother? Because evil will eventually turn on you. If you're smart enough to actually defeat me, why can't you be smart enough to help yourself?
Beliefs,
right?
conflict.
I'm not attacking anyone in particular. I'm just sitting there talking about stuff that I care about.
With the people.
This is why consent matters. If I consent to you, you can actually put terms and conditions to benefit yourself. Like, oh, come to my house, take this meal instead of that. Even if that other one is tastier, take less. It's like, let's watch this TV show because I'm in control. I'm at my house. Like, you set up conditions. When I give enough consent, you can set up conditions to make yourself comfortable in abusing me or whatever, right?
Around.
Yeah, if there was ever a delusion as calling reading books, that's what smart people do. That's the biggest delusion ever. I still hear sometimes here and there a book recommendation. I see PewDiePie read a book. It's like, that's the most stupidest shit you can do, reading books, bro. You barely gonna even learn anything, by the way. And you have to have physical material in your hands to read it, to feel comfortable. Such a comfort, smart person nonsense. Because the moment you're done with the book, you have a book. What do you do with a book? Fucking throw it away? Keep it? It's the dumbest thing, I swear. Right now, using technology, we have eliminated all the books, essentially, very quickly. But some people still have this novelty belief. And technically, I should make books are bullshits level 2. Just because I'm so pissed at the books existing in the first place. You forget everything anyways, and the real thing you're trying to chase is self-identification. You're trying to chase insights as well. It's very interesting to find insights, but it's not for everyone to do that. It's not going to enlighten you into the right path all the time. For me, it's good because it satisfies me, because insight means something new. I've actually came up with a new idea that's very profound. Right? For me, insights are very interesting. For other people, I'm not sure. Because they would have to get out of their path to go chase insights. Out of their path of life, of what they're doing in life in general, just to chase insights. Insight is a very specific thing as well. And you would get that from books, I imagine. Like, it's a very interesting, intricate idea, interesting sentence, That's it. You could only get insights, and if you can generate your own insights, that your head is working, you don't need books. You're already ahead of everyone. In case you don't need books, because books are hard to obtain and read through, and very specific, and just not rewarding at all. Like, there's so many downsides to books. Great.
Somatic and grandiose. People, or that a celebrity is in love with them, or a romantic. They may
I have
also
all of
believe
them.
that they have an illness, somatic, or
Okay, no one needs
being
that.
life, like being a religious figure, grandiose. Fixed beliefs that cannot normally be changed.
Yeah, if someone solidly believes in something and it's not harming anyone, I don't think it's a fucking delusion, bro. It's crazy. And you can always, remove the rough edges and code it in a way that's like believable, right? Delusions are just sharp beliefs. A little bit too sharp, a little bit hard to believe for an outsider. But it's not something that's getting fixed. What was the fix of that?
For instance, someone
Holy
with a
shit,
somatic
man.
delusion, they have it, regardless of what medical professionals tell them. Someone without schizophrenia would typically follow their doctor's
Yeah, just bend over,
word.
bitch,
Delusions
basically.
feel real. Just
It's so easy. It's just, the solutions are so easy. Bend over, get abused, get punched in the face. Solutions are so easy. It's just science have, found a way to sugarcoat abuse. It's so fucking fascinating to look
as
at.
we feel our schizophrenia are far more likely to be victims of violence than perpetrators. Those that do have violent schizophrenia.
Yeah, Shizo people are more likely to be victims. Interesting how that works, right? And in most situations, I became violent because I became as an attempt to find self-defense. An attempt to shut something down, like fucking my mom talking to herself, shut that down. It's just like, I don't know, I don't know anything else but violence can do that. It's as a last resort. See, that was my way of thinking. And you can still like label me a Shizo. Because I seem to dance around with the idea, even though it's just like, I'm not too comfortable about it, and I don't think anyone should be comfortable about it. And especially in the world of predators, even this is just mentally draining. Oh, these are victims. See, it's just a pure lack of education of what you do in certain situations. That's what it is. You're going to accumulate delusions, you're going to accumulate hallucinations, all that shit. How was I able to come back to normal? Well, I don't know, fear and abuse. It got slapped out of me, unfortunately. But it's like, I don't necessarily need that. I found a way to actually do it the normal way. To still appear normal and do things the normal way. It's hard. You're not always going to find the correct solution of how to behave as a normal human being and still enjoy your life, because you always, in order to go Shizo mode, you have to actually activate your ego. Your ego starts doing weird things. Or again, you are in a self-defense mode and people are just labeling you as weird. So it can be anything.
Schizophrenia.
So it's a very twisted thing, and you actually don't want to know anything about it. It's not, as long as it doesn't help you respect other human beings. You have to follow the sense of respect. If knowing more about this is not actually helpful, then it probably isn't. Because it's a distraction, most importantly. Especially on people who don't want to admit that they're victims, because they shouldn't. No one should admit that they're victims, that they're more easily victimized, and sometimes can pick up some drastic measures and all that shit. No one would want to admit to that shit, and no one should. They should fight that as best as they can. And that's the actual condition. It's just a fight that's necessary.
Is treated with psychotics.
Medication.
Or the positive symptoms. Medication takes
Psychotherapy. What is
trial
that?
and error, but it
Trial and error to find something that works. Oh my
is
god.
highly episode.
Really effective, you say?
You may need to be tempered to stabilize.
Yes, of course. You might have to be. Would you sugarcoat just what happens in normal situations? All the tools that the authorities have. Let's sugarcoat that.
On the circumstances,
It can be
the goal
unpleasant,
is to
man.
stabilize your condition with proper
But they're trying to help
management.
you.
These hospitalizations can become few. People with schizophrenia can live fulfilled and successful lives.
Yeah, no, that's not true. Then they don't have it. You know, they don't have a burden, because that sounds like a fucking big burden to just, you know, at any moment you can just go insane. It sounds like a pretty big burden that will not allow you to be successful. To be successful, you have to be well-rounded individual. And life is not easy either. To go insane, to have fears and all that shit, like, that shit's accumulating and it will cripple you mentally, right? Just having fears will not allow you to talk to people properly, not allow you to make friends, make good business decisions, blah, blah, blah. Successful. It's fucking retarded to think that way. But it's just another thing that they'll tell you, you know, it's like, well, you have Shizo, but like, you're still gonna be successful, don't worry about it. You know, just have it. It's just such a fucking
Despite
disgusting
all the potential
thing.
challenges they may face.
May face, wow. Crazy.
Full and successful lives with the proper treatment.
Yeah, proper choppy chop
John Forbes Nash,
of
the
limbs.
subject of the
Oh, let's just throw in an example. Just like, this guy has schizophrenia. It's fine. He still was like able to like make a movie,
acclaimed
right?
mathematician who won a Nobel Prize and had schizophrenia. There are
Oh, it's a Nobel Prize. Wow, but we definitely know, because schizo is like always different for all different people, but he definitely had it, and you can just relate to him because that's so fucking easy, right? I just don't understand the fucking narrative here. Just pathetic, right? I think it's pathetic, and there's a lot of information floating around. There's a lot of people who claim to have it. I would stay away from all this shit. This is the mental illness cloud. It's best to stay away. Mental illness is something you can actually stay away from. Not talk about it, not openly discuss it, not be proud of it, not label yourself as such. Don't talk to fucking professionals who so fucking indulged in that sort of nonsense and treatments available. This is not safe topic. It's just like murder. You don't want to like constantly delve into people talking about murder and all that shit, because that's just mentally draining, and you don't need that shit. That's where mental illnesses come, is draining yourself and worrying about it too much. It is worthy to worry about pending doom. All right, then you're actually actively trying to put together enough traps to trap all the fears so they have no impact in your life into the future. It's very nice to fight the pending doom. Pretend that there's something bad is going to happen, and it doesn't happen. It's just a big relief. However, this you can stay away from. No one actually is forcing you to admit most of the time. Like, real life is a lot of freedom, and that freedom should be spent to stay away from shit like this and videos like that as well. Anyone who clicked is a fucking Shizo loser, basically. Except me, because I'm trying to explain to people of why you should stay away from that. If I was actually alone and I spent too much time doing this, I have schizophrenia, okay? But I have a belief that someone else is gonna watch this and will actually, learn something from this. That belief, that one fucking thing, changes everything. My belief that someone else is going to be helped from this is the idea that this video has merit just besides me yapping about the thing that I should stay away from, right? So the intent matters. The beliefs that are grounded in reality matters. So thank you. I expressed myself, and I still couldn't check the feed website. Fucking weird, man. Horror. It's fucking horrifying, dude. Anyway, see you guys next time.